Right, I know a lot of you can't do 2 hours, yeah? That's how long that video is above. But it's a very interesting video. When it comes to all this occultism, Freemasonry, all their magic and everything that they do, this man, he seemed to know what he's talking about. And why I say that is because I know what I'm talking about and I've listened to this interview. And yes, a lot of what he's saying is true, so ain't no wheels he's spinning, But for all you lot, like I say, can't hold on 2 hour watch something like that because it's long. I gonna take some snippets. I'll give about 10-minute video and I push that out. Okay. Well, love everyone.
So two of the co-founders of the South African Satanic Church who funded Satanism, they were already Freemasons for more than 20 years. And like I said, I saw many Freemasons coming to satanic rituals once the Satanic Church was set up and running. I do not know firsthand what happens at a Freemason gathering. So I've only been inside Freemason lodges during satanic rituals, and that doesn't necessarily mean that every Freemason is a Satanist and every Satanist is a Freemason. What I can say, though, if we look at the symbolism in Freemasonry and we look at Masonic rituals and we look at Masonic lodges and temples, the symbols is very similar, if not identical, to that is used in the occult. So you have what is known of as loaded objects and charged symbols that has a certain influence over people, and it's all demonic. I do not know how they do their rituals because I've never been to a Freemason ritual. I've only known, and I still know, people who are both Freemasons and Satanists, and it's a very easy thing back and forth because of the occult umbrella that it falls under. But I've also spoken to 3 people who left Freemasonry. So I've also assisted them with deliverance and things like that. So they have testified, and they didn't know each other. So the stories they shared with me was identical, of things like blood being drank from a human skull at Freemason rituals, which happens in Satanism as well, that I personally did myself. So I've also drank blood from a human skull when I was involved in Satanism. And that happens in Freemasonry. And the SA of men that happens in Freemasonry, the people who have left Freemasonry have all testified that is a common practice, where, again, and you see, this is the similar thing. So people join these societies and organizations, and they have no idea what they're getting involved in. And only after a certain level, where you cannot simply walk away, things start happening, and you have to subject yourself to things where you almost have no choice over that.
So people in these communities then, would they gravitate towards one or the other, the Satanists or the Masons, or is there a majority that are doing both?
I won't be able to confirm numbers, but so like I said, in my time at the South African Satanic Church, when we had rituals, I've met at least more than 100 men who were both Satanists and Freemasons. And I mean, obviously there's if we look at it from a, let's call percentage, there's way more people, way more men who are Masons or Freemasons than 100 people in South Africa. But so I literally met just over 100 specific Satanists who were also Freemasons. And it is also because in South Africa, up to a certain point, and probably still today, Satanism is practiced very much underground. And it is done a lot of times in secret. And because certain people are involved that don't want to be exposed for that, a Freemason lodge is probably the most likely or closest they can get to practicing rituals. And like I said, because of the symbols and because of the actual ritual component of Freemasonry, it gels very well because it very much falls under the same umbrella if we look at the occult and occult practices. I think they would perceive it that way. Since I've been freed and redeemed from the occult, I can definitely say there's no difference. If you're involved with those things, you're involved in the same thing. But when you are there, you might perceive it that way because the whole desire and chase and need is for power and influence and to have as much access to things as possible. So because I've experienced something completely different when I met Christ, I can say that obviously everything that is practiced under the umbrella of the occult or under the demonic sphere, or when it comes to demonic practices, it's all the same thing, whether you are actually practicing as a New Age practitioner or a holistic healer, or you go to a satanic ritual, or you go to a Freemason lodge, it all falls under the same sphere. And that's why I said at the beginning of this interview, there's only two things in the spirit world. It's the kingdom of God and it's everything else. So the majority of Satanists around the world are actually much older. So because they've been involved with Satanism for a longer time. So if you would break up Satanism in ages, if you want to call it age groups, the majority of satanic members or people who belong to a satanic organization, the bigger ones around the world, they have been for years. So they're already in their early 50s and upwards. And obviously there's also young people that's been recruited into Satanism daily, but the majority of its members are much older people and they blend very well into society, and they have been for years without people suspecting, because the truth of the matter is we're living in a society where everything is taken on face value or at face value. So if you look like a good, clean citizen that have a successful job, or you're in the medical field or whatever, or you're a teacher, nobody would even think that of you. But that is the whole point. And that is why it's blended so well in society, and why we find Satanism in all aspects of society and all aspects of the professional and corporate world as well. So I cannot speak for other countries. I can only speak from my experience and from what I've seen and people that I've met. So again, when it comes to our, let's call them members of parliament. So I'm not talking about the president. I'm talking about members of parliament. There's at least more than 25% that is involved in Satanism. And like I said, even more so that is involved in occult practices, because they go to people who practice witchcraft for them, and they attend rituals where there's animal sacrifice and where they get to use medicine or muti made from human body parts and animal body parts. So that is the reality that I know and that I've been exposed to, and people I've met and can testify to from firsthand. So I cannot tell you with 100% conviction that the world leaders are Satanists. No. I can say, though, that the Satanists that I've met from overseas, like from the US and in the UK and in Ireland specifically and in the East, are people of power and more to do with the financial systems of their country and the banking system than necessarily government. So I hope that answers the question.
Awaken. Light. For the enlightened ones. Freemason code. Golden Dawn gate. Jesuit scroll. Alchemy in a rhythm. Run the secret. Red king blaze up with sulfur flame, white queen shimmer in a mercury name, combining a chemical claim, a secret right in a mystic frame. Negredo, black like night, albedo, moonlight bright, rubedo, full blood right. We walk the path from dark to light. Chemical right in a moonlight, king and queen fuse in our sight. Spirit fly, hide of take flight, alchemic love the secret right. From dark to light, souls ignite. Chemic right, right, right. Mercury and fire, higher, higher. Now bend and end up in the fire. G.S. candle burn through night. Freemason floor black and white. Golden dawn chant by sacred light. They summon rebiths from hidden sight. Symbols twist, sigils glow. Underneath the secret lodge them know. Sulfur dance, mercury flow. Reunite the soul below. A circle drawn in a candle flame. The glyph whole power, the sigil name. Intent encoded in lines and curves. Mantra whisper till the current surge. Rebiths born when the two become one. Eclipse the moon, ignite the sun. Me not just chant, me perform a spell. Oh Luna, let me be thy husband. Oh soul, I must submit to thee. Red and white, day and night. In a ritual fire, them ignite. Third eye open, sight get bright. Rib is born into ignite. Chemical right in a moonlight. King and queen fuse in a sight. Spirit fly, hide of take flight. Alchemic love the secret right. From dark to light, souls ignite. Right, right, right. Mercury and fire, higher, higher. Now bend and end up in the fire. Chemical right, we rise in code. Secrets unfold in mystic mode. Dove fly high, spirit upload. Awaken light, we hold the road. We hold the road, hold the code, hold the light. It is a spiritual fight. Chemical right in a moonlight. Chemical right, we rise in code. Secrets unfold in mystic mode. Spirit fly high, spirit upload. Awaken light, we hold the road. We hold the road, hold the code, hold the light. It is a spiritual fight. Chemical right in a moonlight. Chemical right, fusing a sight. Spirit fly high, dove take flight. Alchemic love, the secret right.